When I grew up, I had a lot of presumptions about the Muslim culture. People are just here to take away our jobs, you know? Stupidity job. When they want to live in my country, you gotta take it off. The majority of criminality comes from those Muslims in our country. After traveling a lot, I don't have those thoughts anymore, and I wondered why. When we grew up, we don't really choose ourselves, but we think about people that are very different from us. My opinions were formed by what the people around me were saying, so the environment that I grew up in, and definitely also what the news channels were saying. I didn't just pop out of my mother and said, those people take away our jobs. I've traveled for almost 2 years in Muslim countries where Iran and Pakistan were the most strictest, and I've been there for almost a year. In my first days of arrival in Iran, I walk up this hill to a little waterfall, and on top of this hill, this random guy invites me for dinner. And I'm thinking like, I don't know if that's a good idea. In my culture, people don't randomly invite others for dinner, so it was weird to me. Also, I've never been a traveler in my own country, so I don't know how that is. But at the time, I thought, let's not do it. So I walk back down and I meet him again, and he gives me his phone number and tells me if I need any help, I can let him know. A little later I leave and I'm standing still at this crossroad, undecisive if I'm going in the left or in the right direction in order to find a place to sleep in my van. And this guy left later as me and arrives at the crossroad and asks me again if I need any help and tells me that he really would love to invite me for dinner. So I decide to take the invite. I drive behind him to his house, no idea where I would end up, and end up staying for 2 nights there and spending a lot of time with the family, and we really had a great time all together. Another time my van was broken down and I stayed at the mechanic's place, and then a day later the mechanic invited me to join him for a dinner at his house with his family. And these experiences would happen over and over again in Iran and Pakistan. I do not remember in my country that I was invited by my mechanic for dinner. The hospitality of the Muslim culture is amazing. My perception of a culture changed by actually spending time in a country with that culture. Now, I'm not saying that their culture is better than mine. I'm not saying that I agree with everything from their culture. I don't even know if I agree with everything from my culture. Perhaps their culture should be a little bit less controlled sometimes, and my culture should be a little bit more controlled sometimes, as I honestly feel safer sleeping in my van in Muslim countries than in Europe. And that's interesting because I grew up with a lot of fear of the Muslim culture, and honestly almost all the people I met did look like the stereotype terrorists that the media used to show me, and all of them were super nice, super friendly and super hospitable. The biggest thing I learned is that whether you're Muslim or Christian or atheist or any other religion, we all just want to get through our day on a way that makes us happy, you know? We all have hopes for the future, we all want to be loved by someone else, and 99% of the people in our countries are good. And 0.01% are rotten apples, and you have them in my culture, you have them in other people's culture. I mean, hey, I can think of a few in my culture. I don't think that we have to agree at all about everything that happens in another culture. But I think that we can agree that we're all human beings and that all of us want to get through our day as happy as possible, and on that level we are all equal. If you like my videos, subscribe.